Hey, this is Izzy Dakota Jones with the Art of Doing podcast for 2024. Holy smoke. I can't believe I don't even know what year this is. We've done them quite a while now. Anyways, the first one for January is going to be legend rocker Darby Mills formerly from the Headpins and now with the Darby Mills Project. We'll be talking to Darby Mills. I think, am I correct? She's got a brand new album coming her way. We're going to talk to her about the new music she's got coming out and when it is going to come out and how the process works for her and get recording songs and letting songs out and stuff and just see what Darby's doing and what the plan is for 2024 for Darby Mills. All right, so hang in there. We'll be right back.
Hello,
Hello, is Darby there?
speaking.
Hi Darby, it's Izzy. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, Izzy. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah,
Awesome.
hanging in there.
Aren't we all at least trying?
Yeah. So how are you and Brian doing?
You know what? The same as everybody else. One
Yeah.
day at a time, and take lots of deep breaths, and hopefully golf as much as you can.
Oh yeah, I know you guys love golfing, eh? That's great. Right on, right on. I have a friend of mine plays in our band now, and she's a guitar player, and she lives part time and down in Arizona, like for about 4 or 5 months out of the year now, and she golfs all the time down there. She loves it.
It's an infuriating game.
It
But those moments, mere moments that you think, "Oh my God, I can play." It hooks you in, just like a good turn,
yeah.
and then you're just screwed. Got ya.
Right on. So hey, do you have new tunes coming out? That's what I was hearing. Some new music coming.
Well, oh God, when was it? I've done 3 new releases over the past few months or
Yeah,
more
that's what I
now.
heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah. So,
yeah, well, let's talk about that because, like I said, my guitar player Patty, who lives in Arizona part time, she heard the song, she loved it. She says, "Oh yeah, you got to talk to Darb because they sound great, right?" She was really impressed.
cool. Well, I wonder which song she was talking about, because I'm actually really impressed with all 3, well, 4. One's a
Good.
cover, and one's a new original, and one is me as a guest performer on a European album, or 2 are
Oh,
guest performers on that. And
very cool.
through COVID, I learned how to do video editing, and so I've put the videos together for them, as well as the
Oh,
original and the cover that we've done. So yeah, I've done five actual videos in the
well, way to
last two
go,
and a half
Darby. So
years.
you're getting it. You're getting into that part of it. That's great, right?
For sure, it's a major part of what's coming out in the future as well, because we're doing another reinvention here. As I'm, are we live at this point?
Yeah. I
We
just
are.
I just run it. I run it, and then we can edit, right? That's what we do.
Cool.
Yeah. I
Okay.
just like to keep it real loose, like we're doing,
Yeah,
right?
of course. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know if you want to get into this or whatever, but yeah, in 16 when
No.
I left, and I left the Headpins to find myself.
Yeah.
I did a pretty good job finding who I
Oh
was,
yeah, you sure did. Yeah.
but the market is it's being strangleholded, if that's such a term,
Yeah.
right now. It's not a healthy place for lots of bands. It's a healthy place for a few, but
Hmm.
not lots, if you get my drift.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah.
in leaving the Headpins, I burnt bridges, and I knew I would be burning bridges, and I knew that I would suffer the consequences of doing it. And I definitely have, I feel, but I also feel strong about, if you're not happy where you are,
It doesn't work.
go
Yeah.
go find a place to be happy.
Yeah.
Another war has broken out. We just don't have time to be unhappy unnecessarily. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I've taken the chance, and now again having the market. I feel the classic rock market do what it's done here in Canada anyway, at least in my uh, experience,
Yes.
that finding a new avenue to appreciate music for my age groups.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
mean,
you know, and you
a
know,
tough way of putting it is that competing with the 30-year-old singers right now, even those that are filling in for 60-year-old singers, you know what? Why do I even care about competing with them? I've put
no,
my 45 years in. I've done those songs. I've blown out blood through my throat.
no,
Been there, done that,
yeah,
and it's quite all right for me to find an avenue that I can just enjoy myself, and it's not a battle every time you turn around. And I know
yeah.
I'm getting deep and cryptic kind of here, but
No,
it's
it's
been
great
leaving
because
the Headpins has been one shit show of a ride, I gotta say.
yeah, because you know you put such a stamp on that. You know what I'm saying to you? Like I'm a vocalist too, and I admire you a lot, and you put a stamp on it. And as far as I'm concerned, you listen to no offense to the anybody else in that other camp, but like to be candid, if I'm going to be candid, you're the voice of that bit of that era of that time period, especially with those songs. I mean,
Well,
I heard it you the other day walking into where was I think it was Harvey and I were going to go watch a friend play at the old MBI there, right in Burnaby,
right.
and we went in there, and you were playing in the background, like when the band was on a break, and I looked, a minute, I turned around and says, look at there, listen, there's Darby, right? And
Mm,
and all those people were in our age groups, right? That were
yes.
there, and they were tapping their toes and having a good time. So I mean, that you've put a stamp on that, and if people don't get that, that's too bad for them. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel. I'm in your camp because I'm a singer and I just admire your voice. I just know you're one hell of a fucking great singer. Even when I saw you with your solo project at the Fairview before it closed, I mean, you sang the shit out of things, right? I was just like, wow, Darby still got it, right? And it's tough, right? Because some people don't can't reach those songs anymore. Like certain big artists, right? That we know that are like Paul McCartney. He sings all the keys, sings the songs. I love Paul McCartney. He sings the same keys, same original, keys every night. Wow, he doesn't cut it all the time, right? Because it's
Yeah, I know for sure. There's a few out there that I could say that, and there are nights that I can't do it either. And
yeah,
it doesn't help that this year the work this year has been very very sparse for
yeah,
us,
yeah,
which has also helped me to decide that I've got to do yet another reinvention here to find a market that's interested in what I'm doing, uh, and what I'm doing isn't necessarily headpins anymore.
that's right.
Even though that's demanded of me in almost every show I go to, it's kind of
Of
like, well,
course.
you know what, the headpins get all that work. I guess go see the headpins if that's what you want to see, those tunes.
Yeah.
And to defend my 45 years in this industry, the Headpins have released, whether it's them or a label that's bought our rights and sold us out for whatever money they can get, 6 different releases.
Mm.
I'm the only lead vocalist on all 6 of those
Yeah,
records
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah,
recordings. So to
yeah.
be dealing with people right now that are like, yeah, well, yeah, it's Darby's old or this, that, or whatever. It's kind of like, wow, they don't say that about McLeod.
Yeah,
He was old,
exactly.
so I'm glad we've got a new replacement. He's better, or that kind of stuff. But it's like, wow, that is my heart and soul and my blood, sweat, and tears that go into those tunes,
Yeah,
and to make me not a part of them is is disheartening, and
it
I'm just
is.
tired of fighting it. So
Yeah,
it's
just
moving
do
on
just
and
just do you. Just do you,
finding
Darby.
yourself.
Darby, just do you. That's what I say because
Exactly.
you're great at what you do, and and I'm not just blowing smoke. I like I told you, Harvey and I are in your camp, right? I look at you now as a great singer, and you've done you stand out in whatever's left in the music scene, right? The way it is, you stand out as one of the premier singers in Canada, and if not in the U.S. and the rest of the world. So I mean, there's no two ways about that, right? So Headpins was nice, but it was great, but it's Darby, you know. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, well, and whatever. It's move on. Find yourself.
Yes,
Go
yes,
be happy, and they're not suffering. Headpins have worked bigger shows since I left than the last 10 years I was in the band. So they're rocking it. They're knocking it out of the park,
yeah,
and they're headlining with whatever. You know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Whatever. Reinventing, finding a new market.
But that's
Having
interesting about your
having a
video.
blast remaking or putting the show together, because I'm also doing a full screen show to go with the show.
Wow,
If
very
that
good.
makes any sense. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. We'll be operating with a full screen behind us, and these 3 years of somewhat learning how to do video editing. It will be as much of a not dramatic but cinematic experience as it will be a live concert. So that's our new. It's called True Story, and I'm really excited to bring it to life. Hopefully by next year it'll be finished.
That's very cool. That's very
Yeah.
good, and it's great that you're getting into that in the video. Like I said, doing the video stuff. That's fantastic. I mean, you can't. A lot of I think too, because I get videos done for our projects, and I've used people like I know you've used Gene Greenwood and different. I've used a couple different people, as a songwriter, I don't think some people get what you're trying to put across in a video. You know what I mean? Like where it's great. You're going to be doing the work, and you can put what you think the essence of the song should be about visually, right?
Yeah, of course there's that, and then there's some bands or writers that don't want you ever to know what they were actually writing about.
Yeah,
and,
true.
I'm personally myself moving forward. I'm just thinking about what kind of an experience do I want as a 60-plus-year-old human being? Do I want to go stand in an outdoor festival in the dirt, in the mud, and camp out right now? No, that's not what I care to do. But having the opportunity to see in the soft cedar market that exists, which are theaters that are built and they're there. They're not going away, like the festival that was here last year is not coming back type thing. It's just a more solid market in my opinion. And you're there by 7:30. You get a drink halfway through, and then you're home in bed by 10:30, and you're happy and you're clean, and nobody's accosted you on your way to the car. I'm sorry for being so truthful here, but
No,
I just
I hear
think that's where my people are. I'm in my 60s.
Yeah.
People, it's reality. Why am I trying to compete with the 30s and 40-year-olds that are out there just still giving her, having a great time? It's like, been there, done that.
Yeah.
And now it's time to kind of sit back, put your feet up, and enjoy the ride. So, changes have come.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I get it too, because I'm in my 60s too, right? So like, I can. You're right. When I'm singing and playing, there's good nights and there's bad nights I have, right? And I only do it because, I play live with the band just because I like the feeling of being with people. Like playing live with a band, I still like that live feeling. But
Yes.
I don't like it as much as I do recording. I'll be honest with you. That's me. Like people ask me, don't you like doing that live show? I says, yeah, I do, but I have to build myself up for it every time. And I says, and that's starting to get old sometimes.
Yeah, well, there's that too. We just did a show in Edmonton, and I couldn't write on 5 pieces of paper how many things that went sideways and didn't go correct, and it's just between the airlines and the ground transportation and this and that's and gear not working, and it's just like, wow, if people really knew the 700 drama situations you had to overcome just to stand on this stage tonight.
Wow.
I wonder if they truly appreciate the effort that it takes to put this on, and it's not that they have to, but it's going out on the road these days.
Yeah.
It's I want to do it. I love it. As you said, I prefer the stage. I crave. I love being up on the stage. I love performing. Always have. Probably always will. But as you get older, I had a friend who just had a hip replacement, and he's like, "That's why I don't take planes or flights anymore. We just get a trailer and we drive to the gigs." I was like, "You just had a hip replacement. Good luck with that."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You think you're sitting in a vehicle for 16 hours and getting out and playing? Good luck with that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like the time has come to realize we are not children anymore.
Oh yeah, yes, yes, yeah. It's hard. Don't you think that's hard too as musicians though? That's a good point. I mean, it's really hard sometimes to think that we're at that age group and yet but inside your head sometimes, I don't know if you feel like this, Darby, or in your heart, sometimes when you hear the music, you still feel like a kid.
Well,
You
it's the memory. It's
Yeah, I
it's like
guess
a
so, right?
smell. The music is like a smell.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the old story that I tell about friends of mine. We were playing with Nazareth here in the Okanagan, and a bunch
Mhm.
of friends came out to see their show. And you get the comments, "When are you doing something new? Come out with something new. The old stuff. Listen to it 1,000 times." And so Headpins did the show, and I met my friends out in the audience to watch Nazareth because we partied to Nazareth as
Yeah. Yeah,
teenagers.
yeah, yeah.
And they decided this particular tour to do all new tunes from their latest album.
Oh,
And
cool.
7, 8 tunes in, my friends are like, "What? Well, where's all the tunes? Like what?" So there's the people that want you to do new stuff, and then there's the people that are going, "Well, I'm only here because I want to hear
Yeah.
my white bicycle or
Yeah.
Hair of the Dog,
Yeah.
Razmanaz."
Yeah, yeah.
I was disappointed I wasn't hearing them. So you're kind of in that catch-22 of
Yes.
how do you produce new material and get appreciated for the energy and the time and the money.
Yeah.
Or are you disappointing the people that are buying tickets to come out to relive and feel that youthful energy yet again? Because that's what they were experiencing when they learned and had those songs touch.
Yeah, touch them. Yeah, 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 yeah. You're right about that because I like I said the other night when we were when I watched a friend play and you came on the house system there. It takes you back, right? It actually took me back to a time when I saw you guys at at Vancouver's Tonight in the early days, right? And I went all the way back to
That was
there.
early days for sure.
And then when I went back to there, I kind of went like, because I was playing in the bar bands at that time, right? Feldman bands and stuff. And so I went right back to there because I remember going to I think we were off that week, we played somewhere, and then we went down to watch you guys. And, it just brought me right back into the room, that upstairs room where you guys were, right? And it was like just blaring, right? You guys were so great, and it was so loud.
I remember seeing the Headpins for the first time. I was still in Steelback,
Yes,
and
yeah, I
we'd
remember,
heard
yeah.
about this all-star band, so we had a night off. Surprisingly, because back in those days, you didn't have nights off. You worked solid. It
I
was
know.
a wonderful time to come up through the music industry
Yeah.
in the late 70s, early 80s, because it was nothing but work. It was fabulous. But yeah, we went and they were playing in the basement, and I won't mention the sound man they had at the time. He was their first sound man.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we got 3 songs in, and it was so loud. As musicians, we were like, you know what? I gotta go because I'm not going to be able to hear if I stay here. They were so loud.
Oh, I know.
And strangely enough, I wasn't impressed. And like within 6 months, I was singing for the band.
Yeah, yeah. Was Denise in the band at the time? Was Denise McCann in the band?
Yes.
Yes, it was Denise. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. And then you came in. Yeah, I remember that whole. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember that. I also, when you guys were playing upstairs, Bob Muckle and Empty Vessels were playing downstairs, or I forget if it was Empty Vessels. Anyways, they were downstairs, and when you guys went on, they had to take a break. They could.
Because We didn't play upstairs very often. Normally we were downstairs, but I think once or twice we did.
Yeah.
Because we were there once every 2 months.
Yes, I remember that.
Like we were there a lot, like Whispers in North Vancouver,
Yeah.
and then Fraser Arms, and all of them.
Yeah, I remember all those places. Yeah.
Yeah, you never didn't work.
No, you always worked.
It was fabulous.
Yeah, I know, you're right. I worked we played all the time. Like it was every weekend Feldman had us booked somewhere. And if it wasn't in town, once in a while we were on the island and stuff, right? People's Cabaret and places like that in Campbell River. Ole's in Victoria and places like that. Yeah, I remember those
Paul
days.
River. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Paul River. Yeah. Holy smoke.
I know what you're laughing at.
Yeah. Amazing, just unreal. I know, that's great though. Like you're enjoying it and you're finding what you want to do. I mean, I think that's great, Darby. I really do. I think that's the best. Like you said, that's the best time to start doing that, is finding yourself in that situation. So you're doing what you want to do and feel good about, right? It's a lot better than not being in something you're not happy with, right? That's for sure. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, well, at this stage of the game, I mean, everybody has to pay their dues or their bills, which I definitely feel I have. And as I mentioned earlier, I burnt bridges walking away. And those will probably never be rebuilt. And it's like, okay, you know what? That was the choice I had to make. And so starting again. But at this age, it just doesn't make sense to be competing for a market that whatever.
Yeah, and then the market has changed so much anyways, right? It's so different. And like when you talk about the video and stuff, the internet is just like, I just finished watching this other documentary this morning. I just flicked the channel and it was on this young kid. I don't even know his name. And he was a young songwriter. He's in the States there. And they offered this guy, like their labels, he got in a bidding war over this kid, right? And all he had was demos, Darby. And the demos were taken, like, he put the demos out online. And the demos were going through the roof. And the labels went after this guy. And they paid him millions and millions of dollars. And they hadn't even seen if this guy has done any live shows or nothing, and the poor kid didn't, just got thrown into it. And at the end of the day, what I got out of it though, the internet is so, the amount of work that even the label was doing for the internet was huge. It was big. It was bigger than actually the live performances.
Well,
It's weird, isn't it?
I hate to quote Gene Simmons, and I do. I hate to quote Gene Simmons, but music is your calling card.
Yeah.
Today, it's free. You give it away, and it's the live shows that bring you in the money.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the truth for 99.9% of the artists that exist today in this market. Yeah. There's that 1%, the Swifties of life, who have got the market cornered, and it's their market. And good for her. She's stood her ground on some stuff and made public, just like Tom Petty did with the ripping off of artists years and years ago to the ripping off of artists today. That's never going to stop. It's the artist is always the last to get paid. It's the
nature of the business, right? I had a manager once, he sort of looks after us from Los Angeles, and he's turned into a very good friend. And he ripped us off once for a whole bunch of money, right? But he called me up and he told me, I did this, I did that, and I feel really bad. And I said to him, yeah, now I feel like I made it. And he looked at me, he said to me, what? I says, you know what? I expect to get burnt here and there. I says, when I'm dealing with people like you guys, I know what's going on. I says, I'm not going to see all that much money. I says, I realize that. And I'm okay with that. I says, I'm all right. At least you told me,
Well, that's very kind of you.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Darby, what was I going to do? Go, give me back my money? I doubt that was going to happen.
Yeah, you could have tried. Yeah, could have tried because, on my part, I got asked for the money. I got asked for $500,000 of the headpin debt even after I got fired. So
Wow.
it's not unheard of that people ask for their money back. I
Yeah.
had no control over where that money was being spent.
Yeah.
And but you know what? Whatever. It is water under the bridge, and there's nothing I can do about it at this point in time. So, again, it's move forward, try and find your happy place, because goodness knows we really do have it good here, knowing that there are two wars going on in the world right now.
Oh my God, I know. It's crazy,
and we're
isn't it?
worried about this, right?
Yeah,
However,
yeah. And then
it
you
is how
guys
we
had-
make, or it is how I make my living. So
Yeah.
it is worrisome. It is my problem, but it's definitely a better problem to have than a whole bunch of human beings are having right now.
Oh
So
yeah, no kidding. And how about like and then this year, how were you guys for the fires up there?
well, we've been through that too.
Yeah, 'cause that
A
must have
couple
been-
years back, we had to replace our roof due to the fires because
you guys
it was
did
going to
it.
go up in flames with all the ambers coming down. So, you know what? I think it's just something that's going to come at us every year, either from the right or the left, or from below or above. And you just, again, just keep moving forward and try to find your happy place, because heaven knows there's a whole bunch of unhappy things going to be coming at you. So,
Yes.
yeah.
That's true. So you got 3 songs. You got any more coming up? Are you gonna release anything else in the next while?
You know what? Every time we've tried to put together a writing session, there's either been a lockdown or a shutdown or a this down or a whatever,
God, yeah.
or something's come up and we've had to turn the writing session into a rehearsal session. It's as if there's a force attempting to keep us from, as a band anyway, trying to write. So I've done some writing with individuals that aren't in the band, and whether they end up coming out,
That's to be seen.
it's hard to say. But with the amount of attention, the 4 new videos and songs I've put out over the past 2, maybe 3 years now, I guess, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think of, I'm basically doing everything.
Yeah.
I'm doing 6 people's jobs, including the promotion of it and stuff. So
Right on,
you do it one at a time. I don't see even though I am doing a full 12-song record with my jazz, if you want to call it, trio here in the Okanagan,
Cool.
which I'm really excited about. It's covers from the 60s and 70s that you would not expect me to be singing, and yet I'm just having such a wonderful time
That's
working
good.
with these
So you're stretching out,
extremely talented players. Dennis Marsenko, John Trekiel, and Aaron Anderson are in the band, and so I've got that to look forward to. Sorry, I'm going all over the place on you here.
That's great. No, but that's good. I'm glad you're telling me about that, because I remember was talking last time and you were talking about stretching out and going there, right? And so you're going there. That's great. That's great.
It's done. We've of course COVID just took a bite out of everything that we were doing, and then these boys are also multi-talented and booked up solid. Every time we get a gig, it's like, are you free? Yeah. You free? Nope. Seriously. How are we ever going to work if you guys are working all the time, right?
Yeah.
What a terrible problem to have. But so we decided that we would just go in and my video editing, I got 5 cameras together. We put up black plastic poly, like the headpins used to do in the clubs inside this shop that we rented, and we filmed 12 songs with 5 cameras, and I've done a 6-minute editing job on or 4-minute editing job on 6 of the tunes, but right now all 12 of them are being mixed, and we're just deciding how to go about releasing this stuff, putting it on Spotify and whatever. I'm just not convinced that does anything for artists of my draw power. Unless you trip and stumble and have a Justin Bieber happen to you. It's just So do we want to press LPs, or do we want to simply give the music away in lieu of gigs? That's the old Gene Simmons, your music is your calling card. We're just going through all those motions right now on how we want to go forward with the business. But that's another project that I'm looking forward to taking into the Soft Cedars, because I know the 60 plus crowd. That's all we've played to is 60 plus crowds, and they love it. And it's so much fun to do. So that's my retirement. It's on the back burner, but it's being worked on. So just
that sounds so good.
Keep moving forward. How many times do I have to say it? And I'm repeating it just to make sure that I'm paying attention. You know that, right?
Yeah. No, and you know what, Darby? That's great because like I said, I love this. I loved it. I can't wait till you release it. I like to hear it myself because I want to hear you stretch out. You know what I mean? Like I've heard you sing. Like I told you before when I saw you at the Fairview, you sang that it was Spooky. Was it Spooky? I'm thinking of. I forget which song you sang.
I wouldn't have been with that band.
No,
I did do Natural Woman and Ain't Got No Troubles in My Life. I know that Randy Bachman played our version of Got the Music in Me on his talk show.
Oh, he did, yes.
Which is like, hey, if that ain't an achievement, because I haven't spoken with Randy Bachman for 30 years. And for him to, on my live release CD, independently released, for him to pull that off and play it on his show, I take that as a real feather in my cap. But
sure, yeah.
I'm not sure what song you would have been thinking of.
I'm trying to think of it. I'm trying to think of it was an old 60s song that you did, and it was great. You just sang the shit out of it, and I was just like, wow. I said that. I remember saying to Harvey, and looking at Harvey, and I says, she's got to do sing that style because it was kind of bluesy, rocky.
Oh, Brother Louie.
Yeah, Brother Louie. Yeah, you did a great job. I was so impressed with that.
That's a fun tune.
You just made me like forget about the original version. I just went like, yeah, and I told Harvey, I says, Darby's got to do more of that because I says that's a niche and that's a feather in your in your cap right there, Darby. Because you sound so good on that. I go, when some people sing covers, they do it okay, but you nailed that. You just nailed it. And it sounded like you. It didn't sound like you were trying to cover something. It sounded like Darby singing, a really good song, right?
Well, I think you'd love Press Play because that's kind of the attitude that we've moved forward with on the band. It's just a trio's version of Electric Light Orchestra songs and Lighthouse tunes and just stuff like those kind of tunes, right? Just great.
I love Lighthouse,
grab a drink with a umbrella in it and put your feet up on the chair, close your eyes, and just listen to 90 minutes of great old tunes that just are. Yeah,
I hear you. Yeah, that's great. I'm looking forward to that, Darby. I really am. That'll be great. I can't wait. I'll bug Harvey to talk to you, or I'll call you and say when you're going to get this out. I'm serious. I'd love to hear that. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I love stuff like that. I have a blues rock band and I have a heavy rock band. And sometimes I prefer the blues thing. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure. Yeah.
Because we do standards, but we also do our own. But it just makes you appreciate, the songwriting that was back then too, right? I mean, like I listened to Willie Dixon, and Willie Dixon wrote so many hits, and I'm just sitting there one day, I'm going like, I got the greatest hit album, and I go, every song on here is huge, and it's been done by a million people 1,000 times over, and I'm just going like, and you just go, wow, like.
Yeah. Well, and Aaron, the drummer in the band, every time I pick a new song or whatever, he's like, "Oh man, this is great. You know who played drums on this? This is so and so." He's like one of the best drummers out of the whole blah blah blah. And it's just like, and then you realize that I don't know if you've seen the show 20 Feet from Stardom or else The Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, I saw the Wrecking Crew one. Yeah.
Yeah, 20 Feet from Stardom is just the female singer version of The Wrecking Crew. How many backup singers actually sang all those tunes.
I saw that. Yes, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that
Yeah.
documentary. Fantastic documentary.
So a lot of these tunes that we're doing with the Press Play project are songs where these classic performers, musicians are playing on them. So it's not like just you're doing a headbang or a four on the floor or whatever. It's like, no. This is like Buddy Rich played on this and we're covering it. This is great. Or, yada, yada. But,
that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And then you feel influenced by it, right? Yeah. 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 It touches you and it moves you. That's great. Well, I'm looking forward to that, Darby, and I'm glad you're in your happy place.
Well, we're working on it. That's the key is, if you quit, nothing gets done, right? So even though you might trip and fall down the rabbit hole here and there or once a week, as long as you're pulling yourself, what is the saying? It's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. So,
yes.
Yeah, no?
I know. I appreciate that. It's nice talking to you again. I'm going to let you go, and then, I'm like I says, I will bug you. I'll find. Let me know when that comes out, and then I'll tell Harvey, and we'll see it. Hopefully, we see you and Brian sometime down here in Vancouver again. I miss you. I miss you guys.
The project does. DMP is playing December 8th at the Roxy.
Oh,
so we will be there.
December 8th. Okay, I'm writing that down.
Yeah. It's not actually out publicly yet, but hopefully it'll be out soon, and hopefully it all goes according to plan.
Okay, I'll come down and see you at the Roxy because that's not far away.
Awesome.
We're playing down there, I think, in somewhere in December too. I'm not sure when, but we're doing a show.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so we'll be down there too. But I'll come down and see you. We like the staff. The people down there are really nice at the Roxy. They're great.
I haven't been there forever,
You'll
so
like
this
it.
is
You'll
going
like
to be
it.
a treat.
Yeah, you'll like it. A good sound system. It's a nice stage. It's good. And the house sound guy, if you're using your own, that's great. The house sound guy, he's a young kid. He's brilliant. He's probably the best guy they've had in there for a long time. Right.
I know a few of the guys they've had in there, so I won't judge.
You do
but
too.
It's all good. We do have our own guy. He's our guy. He's pretty loyal to my guys, so he'll be with us there. But it's all good.
Well, I'll be looking forward to see you on December 8th, Darby. I'll be down there.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the future.
We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye now. Well, that was Darby Mills. Wow, that was great. December 8th, down at the Roxy. If you got nothing, well, this will be past this. You either were there or you weren't. It's Izzy Dakota Jones with the Other Doing Podcast 2024. First one. Talk to you later. All right, that was Darby Mills, formerly from the Headpins and now with the Darby Mills Project. It was great talking to Darby and seeing what Darby's up to. So this is Izzy Dakota Jones with the Art of Doing Podcast for 2024. The first one, January, number one on the playlist. And we'll be having a lot more interesting people this year. We're going to branch out. It's going to be a very interesting year, so we'll see how this goes. This is Izzy Dakota Jones signing off with the Art of Doing Podcast 2024. Talk to you later.